He's ready?
Okay. We'll call this evening's meeting of the City Council for April 3rd to order. Show that council members are here with the exception of Vice Mayor Shuey and Council Member Catalano, please. Would the audience please rise with me and do the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Next item is the consent calendar.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded for the consent calendar to be approved as submitted. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. Moving on then for recognitions and presentations. I believe we have a presentation for the Emergency and Volunteer Services, the Concord Police Department regarding the 911 services. It looks like a smart 911 service.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members, and city staff. My name is Margaret Urmetti. I'm with the Concord Police Department. I'm the emergency manager for the city of Concord, and I am here this evening to inform you of a new software platform called Rave Mobile Safety and Smart 911. So initially in the city of Concord, we have developed this push notification system. It's what's called a self-service portal. And your residents here in Clayton are also have the opportunity to get online and have the benefits of this software system. It basically is a software system where we can push out emergency notification alerts, and also they can create a profile which will pop up in our dispatch center when they dial 911. So I'm here to educate the council and the city residents regarding this system. So basically, as you can see on the PowerPoint, these are the opt-in features. We wanted to keep them streamlined so we don't have a lot of spam going to people's cell phones. So we just opt to do mostly emergency response and disaster response related topics. And if people want, they can either opt in or not opt in, and also events. One of the things that actually initially intrigued me about this software system is it comes in multiple languages. We can actually have it reach out to 60 different languages. We're not going to start that off the bat. We're actually initially starting off with just 3 languages, and as we practice the system more, then we'll incorporate more languages as needed. One of the wonderful features that this system also has is for business and schools and other facilities. So literally when a business opts into this software platform, they can upload facility maps. So if our officers have to go onto their campus for any reason, we'll already have that data within our CAD systems. Also, they can put in the phone numbers of their businesses and even their business staff numbers. And so if someone from the business does call 911, that information will populate into the dispatch center, and our dispatchers can get that information to our officers so much more quickly. Again, that works with apartment complexes, it works with gyms, golf clubs, so we're really looking at expanding the data that we have access to. And then one of the other things that we have is automated external defibrillators, so we'll be able to document where those defibrillators are within our 2 cities. And so if someone does have an event and the dispatchers have that information, they can actually locate direct citizens or officers to those defibrillators. So we kicked this program off in November, and since then I've actually done several outreach presentations here in the city of Clayton already, I'm very happy to say, but there are a lot of other outreach efforts that we want to continue to go to. Senior Center, we have outreach where citizens can come to our Senior Center in Concord by appointment, and we'll help the seniors get online and register. Either one of the Commission on Aging members will help them, or one of our volunteers in police service. And then plenty of other businesses that we're working with. We're doing monthly campaigns, and the goal is to get at least 1% to 4% of our citizens to opt in. I'm really happy to say this program's been active now for 5 months, and we're already at the 1% level, so we're striving for more. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about Smart 911. So Smart 911 is the profile that I was referring to. It clearly is secure. That's one of the first questions that we asked with the software system. It's really popular in the East Coast. The East Coast actually has this software platform that they use at a lot of universities, where they even have a panic button, and a student can actually log into the software platform and let the dispatch at the school know that they're leaving their classroom and how long it will take to get to their car. And if they don't call dispatch back, dispatch will actually reach out to them and put it on emergency if they don't hear from that student. So on the East Coast, it's a big thing, and they're just breaking ground out here in the West Coast. Now, I also want to say that this is free to all citizens in the city of Concord and the city of Clayton. So basically, these are the items that your citizens can include. They can include as little or as much information as they like. Work or home address, which I have done on my profile. So when I do call 911, it has all that information. It'll have my husband's contact information. It works on a landline phone, which our dispatch does get that address, but there's so much more information that they would get with this platform. Your work phone, your emergency contact. You can put photographs of your children. If you have an elderly parent, you can register them, especially if they have Alzheimer's or dementia and they wander. This is also another platform for that. All the household residents that you have. And then one of the features that I really like about this software platform is you can put the license plate and VIN number and make, model, and color of your car. A lot of times when people get their car stolen, those simple details are not something that they remember. So this is what the dispatcher actually sees when you call 911. The screen will populate on their dispatch screen, and it gives you the option to put in photographs. So we highly encourage people with children to put their children's photographs in. You can imagine how much time we would save if you already populate this profile, and if your child doesn't come straight home from school and you have to call the police department, we'll already have that information populating as soon as you call 911. So we'll know what Sally's name is, we'll know what her hair color, eye color is, we'll know how tall she is, and that information goes straight to our CADs, into our MDCs, into the computers in the police cars. Instead of us having to go to the house, you pull up a picture off your phone, get that picture to the dispatch. I mean, it saves so much more time. And the same with elderly folks, too. So these are just a couple of the other areas that you can, information that you can put into the system. There actually is a real life story where a woman, a wife, put her family's information into the system, and later that day her husband ended up calling 911 because there was a fire in the house. And because he was inundated with so much smoke, he actually couldn't speak. But when the profile popped up, the dispatchers knew exactly, well, not exactly, they figured where to send resources to, so they did. They kicked the door in, and they actually saved this man's life. So if people cannot speak, they also, and they do call 911, we'll know where they're at. Especially people with allergies and heart issues. There could be a lot of situations where you might not be able to communicate. There is also another area that people can register all their medical issues. If they're on any special medications. I know after the Santa Rosa fires, my phone rang quite a bit for people who had mobility issues, and they wanted to know if we had to evacuate them, how would we know, how would we have their information? And we hadn't quite pushed this out yet, but this solves that problem. A lot of times too, with dispatch centers, we can collect this information, but it expires. And with this software platform, actually, once you put the information in, it's very secure. It will actually ping your phone with a security code that you have to put that code back into the software system. And then once you're online, every 6 months, you're going to get an email, and I just got mine, and it's going to say your Smart 911 profile has expired. I was like, oh, great, now I have to go log on and remember all this information, and that actually didn't happen. I just clicked on the link, and it said my information was active again, and if anything changed, just go and log on, and I could change the information. So that will happen every 6 months, so we're not dealing with expired information. So these, again, are some of the other components that people can put into the system. Also, we know after all these emergencies that we have, especially the large disasters, that people are always concerned about their pets. So you can put your photograph of your pet in the system. We have a 21-pound cat named Molly. It's my husband's fault. And she is actually in our system too. So something, God forbid, something happens, or if you have a dog, a large dog, you can actually put in there how tame that dog is. So this is how easy it is to get into the system. You only have to go online to www.smart911.com and you can get yourself and your family registered. So are there any questions?
Julie?
Yeah, several. This was going to come up under my council report as well. At the East Bay Division of the League of Cities a couple of weeks ago, we were talking and had a presentation with the Cal OES folks talking about the Contra Costa alert stuff. Does this integrate with that?
No. So you're referring to the community warning system?
Yeah.
So that is a separate system through the sheriff's office.
Right.
That actually is paid for by the refineries.
Right.
So that is a completely separate system that law enforcement can use as a whole throughout Contra Costa County. One of the other things that I forgot to mention about this system is for the different cities that have this software platform, if you're registered and you go into that city, then and you dial 911, it'll pop up on that dispatch center's laptop or computer
With all the
system.
same information.
So right now we have Brentwood, we have Concord, Clayton, and San Ramon Fire and San Ramon Law.
Okay. So does Confire have this yet?
No.
No. That's because that's the county system.
Correct.
Right. So we have to lobby our supervisors to get on board, right? Okay. Another question. Does this work with, my dad had a first alert type button that he wore on his watch to push in case of an emergency, hook through the home alarm system. Can that be tied in somehow? I don't know how that works.
No.
No. Okay, so things like my iPhone and Apple Watch where you have an emergency button on there, that won't work either with this.
If your device has a phone number attached to it, so I have an iPad that's synchronized with my iPhone. So if I use my iPad to call 911, it would pop up.
Okay.
So basically it's calling 911.
So the Apple Watch and the others like that, I know there are other brands that are similar, but I have several friends who've gotten Apple Watches just because instead of just having an alarm system at home, they have an alarm system wherever they go. Because if they push that panic button, it calls 911. You would then be able to track them if that phone number is in the system, right?
If they're synchronized, yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, as long as they enter the phone number as one of their phone numbers.
Correct.
Okay. Good idea. Well, I guess we have to all log into all the different systems for the time being, and hopefully they'll learn to talk to each other. But this one sounds more sophisticated than any of the others. And I think in reading your information, or maybe it was in the other presentation, what I heard was that in times of an emergency like they had in the North Bay fires, the fire chief up there told us that their cell phone towers went down. They were not able to communicate with each other in the fire department because they use cell phones instead of radios in the hills and dales, but they were able to use text messaging because it requires far less bandwidth. So I would assume that one of the things you would be able to do is push out text messages for alerts as well, not just phone calls.
This software platform does have that capability. We have not pushed it out through this platform yet.
Okay.
But a lot of dispatch centers are actually getting text capability, so that is coming.
So it's coming soon. That would be good. That would be good. That's all I'm thinking of at the moment. I'm all in favor, 100%. I'm on board. I was on board before I got here.
Jim, any questions?
Well, the only observation I can make, I own an alarm company, and we have a similar system that populates when an activation occurs. It has much of the information, if not all of it, what you've just described. And I'm unaware at this time of anybody working on a linking up of the system. I'm going to look into that. But we have all the emergency contact information for each individual customer that we have. And so we have 2 screens that pop up and populate, as you call it, that give the address and then who are the, in order of priority, who to call and that kind of thing. So it's just a matter of somehow finding some technology to bridge that. And I suspect it'll be along very shortly. But we have the same thing, what we characterize as I've fallen and I can't get up button. And so it lets know that the senior person is in some sort of distress and gives all the pertinent information. So it's resident in private systems. It's a matter of just bridging it.
And this is actually free to your citizens, so they don't have to pay for it. So it's a benefit.
Good. Obviously, going to be a big benefit on responding to emergency services. So we certainly want to encourage our residents to do that. So it's up and available now to Clayton residents, just accessing it via the website.
We have to buy in.
Well,
We have to opt in
no, I mean, it's
as a city.
technically it's available.
Yes.
We have to, yeah. The system is ready when we are.
We're already in as a city.
Have we already paid for it?
Yes.
Okay. I thought that was one of the questions, is should we pay for it?
No.
I thought it was
Okay.
more of an active
It's
system.
all, with our contract with Concord for dispatch services, as they, acquire additional software and other equipment along those lines that facilitates dispatch, we are automatically, as a funding partner, involved in it.
So again, we want to encourage our residents to take advantage of this. I see the goal is just 1% to 4%. What's your typical success rate?
Actually, 1% is considered a success rate in
Really?
this situation.
That's pathetic.
Yes.
When, unfortunately, when there are really large emergencies like the Santa Rosa fire, I know our community warning system, I was actually with them when the fire started. They actually, in one day, got 7,000 people to log on and opt in. So it's the nature of the situation.
Okay. They just have to recognize the benefits that this system has. And hopefully they have lots of examples now with the North Bay Fire of how it can help folks in danger.
And we're asking people to tell a friend.
Okay.
Okay, so she's, go ahead.
I also saw that, so you, every 6 months, you're basically prompted to review the information, see if it needs to be updated.
Yes, you can if you have any change of information, or you can just press on the link and your information will automatically be active again.
So it's reminding you to kind of review that to see if anything does need. I saw pictures as well, so pictures can be uploaded so that particularly with children, you can see a current picture.
Correct.
After the good
Those
6
do
inches.
change a bit quickly. Well, thank you. So the purpose really of tonight's presentation was just to introduce the system and talk about the benefits and to encourage us to encourage our residents. Gary?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Margaret, I had a question. First off, thanks for being here.
Sure.
But it sparked interest on the AEDs. Is your system already populated where the location of the AEDs are in our community?
Not at this time. We have another software system that we use through the AED companies, but we will be utilizing that resource. And we also have AEDs in our police cars too.
Right, but I know in our city itself, like this facility has an AED, City Hall has an AED, and it might be nice. I know through the county with the EMSA, they actually have a program where people can subscribe let's say it's an off-duty nurse or a physician's assistant or whatnot, and they can subscribe to be notified if someone is having an episode, an event nearby an AED. And I didn't know if, once again, if your system, well, our system now, if our system is able to interface with that, or is that something down the road?
Yes, I think that system is called Pulse Point.
Yes.
And it's out of San Ramon.
Yes.
One of the San Ramon fire chiefs
Fire
created
chiefs,
that. Yeah, at this time, those two systems don't communicate, but I'd be happy to work with you or one of your city staff to push that forward.
Well, I would be happy to. I'm the city manager's representative to the County Emergency Medical Care Committee. So I know what they're doing on that end, and I would be happy to work with you on identifying our locations for AEDs if that helps in your responsibilities.
Yes, thank you.
Great. Super. Thank you.
Julie, another question?
Yeah. When will we get the links on social media that we can start pushing out to all of our residents and encouraging them to sign up?
I can work with your chief and make that happen by Monday.
That would be awesome, because we all have pretty extensive networks within the area, and I know there's probably a higher sensitivity here than there might be in other places, because we have that big, beautiful mountain right in our backyard, and it gets really dry, and people worry about that a lot. So I have a feeling we might challenge that 1%. We're going to try.
Very good.
Blow past that target. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. We'll see what we can do.
Well, thank you, Margaret. A lot of good information. It's encouraging to see that those systems are going to be available.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
All right.
you.
Next up are our reports, and our first up is Planning Commission. Vice Chair Hassan Altwal.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. Good evening. On March 27th, our meeting, Planning Commission meeting, only 3 planning commissioners were present. Mr. Wolfe and Mr. Gall were absent and were excused, so we had quorum. And we had only one application. It was a home occupation permit, 5121 on Keller Ridge Drive. And what they wanted is to have an after-school Chinese or Mandarin learning classes for maximum of 6 students with calligraphy as well. Neighbors on both sides of the issue did some presentations. While everybody agreed that it's a great idea, the neighbors who were against it were concerned about traffic, because the Keller Ridge, they call it the highway. So the neighbor next door exactly to the property, he was one in favor of the idea, and he said that the previous tenants had a church and church studies going in there and never bothered them. So we debated it and voted on it with everybody agreeing and accepting it. Education trumps traffic, and it was one of the comments. But we added two conditions to the approval. One of them, that everybody that is in any connection with the kids should have a CPR certificate, and at the same time goes through a background check. And on that, that was the only application, and the Planning Commission, the 3 of us present there, approved it. And it's going to come to you, I'm sure, soon.
Doesn't come to us.
Doesn't come to you? Oh, I thought
You're
it
the
does come
final
in.
decision.
Oh,
You're it.
I thought it moves up, so, but anyhow.
Typically, they don't unless they're appealed or something occurs. Yes.
Okay, all right, so that's it for the March 27th meeting.
All right.
Right.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next up, we did not have a Trails and Landscape Committee meeting. So, City Manager, Gary?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Just at the last meeting and then again tonight, wanted to let the community know that's viewing that tomorrow night in this room, the city's prospective developer, prospective is a definitive word, a prospective developer for the vacant lot the city owns in the downtown on Main Street will be in this room at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. That's April 4th. And they will be there to share with the community some of their initial elevations, their site plan map, Also, our commercial broker will be there to explain what he has done to outreach for potential land uses on that property. And basically, we invite the community to come on in and to be self-educated regarding some of the thoughts for what might be the use on that property downtown. Right now, it's being characterized as a senior housing facility with a retail component at the frontage of Main Street. The housing for seniors is different than Diamond Terrace. Diamond Terrace is a senior living facility. The facility that's being proposed would be senior assisted living, which is a higher care than senior living. And then it would also have a memory care unit, which would have patients that are weathering dementia or Alzheimer's. Neither of those or any of those potential occupants are going to be driving cars, so it limits the amount of traffic that would be imposed in the downtown, as well as some of the on-site parking requirements. However, and I know that a lot of constituents might be wondering, well, why isn't the city council going to be there? Why isn't the city council holding the hearing? Well, the city council would be the ultimate determiner in the process to approve that land use, and therefore, by various laws for not only ethics but conflicts of interest as well as general biases, we encourage as staff that the city council members, who are the ultimate decision makers, do not appear in advance of the public hearings, even to hear the item, even to listen to the item, because a member of the public could converse with you, the developer could converse with you, people could observe those conversations and believe that you have already, by scratching your nose or flicking your ear or just nodding as in general good conversation, that you have made up your mind on that decision. And therefore, as you know, but this is not for your purposes, the city council members nor the planning commission will be at those meetings. However, they can certainly send you emails about it or whatnot, but we hope to engage the community in a conversation about what the city has tried to do over the last 5 years to encourage development of that property, and then also to allow citizens to indicate what their preferences are, have our commercial retail broker indicate what he has tried to do to troll that. Also, our community development director will be there, Mindy, and she can help explain the process if people are interested. That's tomorrow night here in this room, 7 o'clock. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks for the update and the reminder. Next up then would be council reports. Councilmember Diaz.
A couple things. I was invited by the state of California to spend 2 lovely days in Sacramento helping and updating and rewriting the professional examination for the systems we were just talking about earlier. Only ours is the private sector version. And so I spent 2 days up there working with a number of other professionals and a team of professional examination writers participating in that event. On Friday, Good Friday, I attended the 29th annual Valley Leadership Prayer Breakfast in San Ramon. Wonderful attended event, great speaker, a very, very, very impressive event. 29th annual, so they're really moving along over there. Finally, last night, I attended and chaired the 2018 Art and Wine Committee meeting, which is rapidly approaching 28, 29 of August, or April. That's it. Thank you.
Councilmember Pierce.
Yes, just 4 meetings this time. The Contra Costa Transportation Authority met the night after our last meeting for our monthly board meeting. It was very informative, but also fairly routine. Preliminary budget review, that kind of stuff. Everything's going along quite well there. I attended as I mentioned before, the East Bay Division meeting of the League of Cities, where we had a great presentation on the OES program from the state Office of Emergency Services. We had folks from a couple of different fire departments, as well as 2 folks from the state and from FEMA. And so it was very similar to what we're talking about here, except on a different level. And they emphasized over and over and over again, and I will scan and send out to all of you the paperwork that was sent out, but they emphasized very definitively that if you are not prepared with the right paperwork in place in your city, you will not get help and you won't get paid. So I am copying that, and we'll be double checking to make sure we are all up to date. The other thing I did last week was to attend the Redefining Mobility Summit put on by the Contra Costa Transportation Authority and by Gomentum Station, which, as you know, is located out at the Concord Naval Weapons Station. It was an incredible day, seeing what autonomous vehicles do, what the state of the art is today, how fast it's moving ahead, the disruptive nature it's going to have to everything we are doing with mobility. It was just fascinating day. Got to ride on the shuttle for the first time. Believe it or not, in all this time, I hadn't had a chance to ride our little autonomous shuttle. But we were riding it around the parking lot there at Bishop Ranch, and it really is truly unremarkable in the ride because it's very smooth. It just goes where it goes, and it doesn't feel the least bit scary at all. You literally can touch or get close to touching the side of it, and it will stop. It goes around the parking lot at about 12 miles an hour. Has a top speed of 35, but so far for just shuttling people back and forth, it goes very slow. And so you can walk right out in front of it and it will stop. So it's contrary to everything we are hearing, autonomous vehicles are doing very well. So that was my last 2 weeks.
Good. Yes, it must have been exciting to finally ride in one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually experience it.
Yep.
I had 3 events. First was on Sunday, March 25th. Presented the People's Choice Awards at the Creekside Arts Festival. And wonderful examples of various different art forms, music, photos, paintings, carvings. And to see the People's Choice Awards, obviously you would see the best of the all the presentations that were being made there. They had actually had one of the presentations for awards was Friday night when the experts come in and make their selection, but Sunday was the People's Choice, where people attending the art exhibits over the weekend were able to vote for their favorites too. So I think the artists really enjoyed that as well. And then on Thursday, March 29th, attended the CBCA monthly meeting. And on April 2nd, last night, attended the Clayton CBCA barbecue cook-off planning meeting. And that's an event here in Clayton, will be July 14th this year. So that's what I was up to since our last meeting. So moving on then, public comment for non-agenda items. Don't have any speaker cards. Does anyone want to address the council on non-agenda items? Seeing no one then, move to public hearings. We have none. Move to action items. And we do have an action item. We want to consider a report by the All Out Sports League regarding its community recreation sports programs and participant fees at the Clayton Community Gymnasium and adjacent community park through the existing contract with the City of Clayton. Gary?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Members of the council, most of you will know the history of the Clayton Community Gymnasium, thanks much to efforts of one of our council members here, Julie Pierce. The Clayton Community Gymnasium, for people who don't know, actually sits on land that was once owned by the city through the Oakhurst development process up in that area. And in order, after the middle school was built, there was no gymnasium, and this community spearheaded an effort to obtain some school bond money as well as additional donations from the community, and using some redevelopment agency was able to construct the gymnasium that the middle school now enjoys. It was a joint construction project. The city had to gift the land to the school district because the school district could not access school bond monies without having title to the property upon which an improvement would be. This was a little before my time. However, I was a recipient to get to enjoy the opening of the gymnasium after arrival here. And since that time, we have had a master use agreement with the Mount Diablo Unified School District that in essence says when school is in session, that gymnasium is to be used exclusively for school purposes. And we can certainly understand that. We don't want the community having access when a school population is on the campus as well. But when the school is out of session and on the weekends, as well as during the summer, the city, as a joint funding partner of the gymnasium, has the opportunity to use that gymnasium. Well, we don't have a number of organizational resources in which to create a parks or recreation department to do so. So from day one, the city had contracted initially with the Mount Diablo Region YMCA to run programs, community programs at the gymnasium. And that went well for a number of years. And then, should I say, after a period of time, the YMCA no longer was eligible in which to operate those programs. Thereafter, the city was looking and staring at, well, we've developed a base of community programs there. How is anyone and who would be willing to step forward to fill that void? We fortunately found at that time All Out Sports League, who stepped forward and said, we're able to do that. And we were absolutely thrilled. And after talking with Mr. Casey Copeland at that time, who's in the audience and will do the remainder of the presentation, we worked out an agreement for his initial access to those programs. As we always do, we made it a pilot program to see how well we did, and as well as he did. And shortly thereafter, in the following year, we said, you know, Mr. Copeland, you're doing a fabulous job. Why don't you please continue? And so we now have a multi-year operating agreement with All Out Sports League. They are an independent contractor, which means they, in essence, are responsible for generation, production, operation of community recreation programs on a user fee basis. The city does not contribute any money towards that contract. On the flip side of that, since it's an independent contractor, the city does not have any legal right to indicate what the fees shall be for those programs and classes. However, Mr. Copeland will show you some slides, I believe, in his presentation. He has developed a base of following. The gymnasium is just overflowing with kids of all ages. That's actually on the plaque, I think, for kids of all ages at the gymnasium. He has adults as well as kids. One of the most popular programs is developing future players for the NBA from our community, and he'll share more of that. So one of the questions that the council had during the council manager goal setting session was let's have an update from Mr. Copeland. We haven't seen him in a while. Want to know what his programs are doing, how he believes they are doing. Take a look at, there's been a question in terms of the prevailing rates for his programs compared to other competitive facilities, and he has that information and he'll respond to that tonight. So with that backdrop, I'll invite San Diego Aztec graduate forward. He and I always do the UCLA Aztec stuff. You were defense, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, he was a hitter. They call him the hitter. Defensive back, right?
Yes.
Yes. So he was also swift of foot. So welcome, Casey. Glad to have you here. Thank you for operating those programs, and I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity tonight. What he didn't tell you was that when I met him 6 years ago, I think it was 6 years ago, I had a full head of hair. And but working with Gary's been so stressful. This is what I've been reduced to. So
One more.
All right, great. So first of all, thank you for the opportunity to come and present to you. I want to talk to you tonight about All Out Sports League, where we are, the relationship we have with the community here, and also where we're going, some of the new programs that we're going to be offering. I'm excited to say that I still, wake up every morning and, we started 10 years ago in January, so we just celebrated 10 years this January. So it's exciting. It started from a 5-person basketball camp out in Brentwood. And when 5 people showed up, I said, oh, I better rethink this. And so, but since then, we have grown to over 2,500 participants annually. And a big part of it is us moving here to the city of Clayton. And Gary Napper has been, I always call him my fullback because he has been my lead blocker. He has been just a diamond in the rough and helping me and supporting All Out Sports League. So I really appreciate that, Gary. So we were established in 2008, And we live in a social media world, as you all know. I'm proud to say that we have a 5-star rating on Google and Facebook. I think we have one bad Facebook comment that was from a guy whose kid lost in a championship one season and wasn't happy about that. So he went on Facebook and wrote some bad stuff. But the other 47 reviews are pretty good. But I want to talk to you just quickly about our offerings, what we do offer. First of all, we offer programs here primarily in the city of Clayton. Antioch is another location for us, and then recently we started doing some things in Hercules. So we do basketball camps in a basketball league on a much smaller scale in Hercules. But youth basketball leagues, camps, youth volleyball leagues and camps. We do a free flag football camp every summer, t-ball in the spring. We have a club basketball program. We do drop-in basketball. Today we had drop-in basketball. We offer a lot of financial scholarships for those who are in need. And like I said, we have over 2,500 annual participants. Our adult sports include softball and volleyball, and also drop-in volleyball. One of the new things that we're launching in September is a junior general managers program. I'm really excited about that. And what that is going to be is for those parents who want to get their kids into learning the behind the scenes, how to write contracts. And we're talking about professional contracts, how to create programs. And so it's a junior GM program. I have a friend that I go to church with named Richard Tomlinson. He is a certified accountant, a CPA, and he's also a professor at Los Padonis. He's going to be running the program. And so we're going to roll that out in September. We also do free financial seminars for kids, where obviously we can only hold so many, but we'll put the email out and we will offer kids to come in and we talk about check writing, credit card debt, all those things, and deal with financial. And we do birthday parties. We manage the facility here in Clayton, so whenever someone needs to rent or rent out the facility, they come through us. And Councilmember Julie, you probably know about this. We have a free live streaming program for all the parents and grandparents who can't make it to the games. They're able to rewatch the games or watch them live at our in the gym there. And we also employ kids to run the snack bar and the game clocks, and they make a little bit of money, so it's good to have them. Earn some money. And then again, we offer programs in Clayton, Hercules, and Antioch. I've been blessed. I mean, this being in Clayton has really changed our company. Our basketball program is so exciting. If you come out there on a Saturday, the spring leagues begins this Saturday, you will see kids ages 4 through 17 playing basketball, good basketball. And it's so exciting. The league itself is one thing, but once you get to the playoffs, it's even more exciting. You know that. Yeah. I mean, it's loud. We encourage people to bring their signs. It's pretty amazing how successful the program has begun. And it's not because of me. It's because of people who have brought ideas and suggestions, and we take all that into consideration. If it's a good suggestion, then we will implement it. And that's what's the beauty of All Out Sports League, is that we've taken so many different ideas from people and have been able to implement them. We've tried a lot of things, and some of them work, some of them don't work. But the ones that have worked is youth basketball, which is by far our largest program and most attended program, the kids. Next, we also offer youth volleyball. We have a youth volleyball session beginning this Saturday. And it's primarily young ladies between the ages of 10 and 14. I think we have 38 signed up that start this weekend, so we're excited about that. We have a great volleyball director that comes in and does some great, and it's primarily beginning young people that are in the program. So they go 7 weeks and they learn all the different aspects of volleyball. Our basketball camps are another popular event. We have a camp going on this week in the gym from 9 to 12. Our camps usually run for 4 days from 9 to 12 each day. And our camps are typically 40 to 50 players that will come, and again, right here in the gym. We run a flag football program in the summertime. You know, there is a pretty big flag football program in Walnut Creek, ran by, I forgot the outfit, but they're very successful. And we chose to go the camp route versus a league, and we chose to keep it free. So that's why we only do a flag football camp and not a league. Our adult softball program runs in the spring and also in the fall, and the adult softball league is starting up here at the end of this month here. It's our softball league. And we also have an adult volleyball program who some of you may or may not know Sandy, my good friend Sandy. And our volleyball program just recently became on hold because they wanted to go over to Ultimate Fieldhouse. So we're actually working on a deal with her to get them back over here and get them playing. We've been running adult volleyballs ever since we've been here. So, okay.
And
okay, I'm sorry.
Casey, if you could you, a couple of the questions involved the ratio of participants in
Yes,
terms
I
of...
had that on the...
Yeah, that was in the agenda packet, and then also some of the fees that are
Sure.
being charged.
Yep. No, I don't. It's the Gary. Is it on there? If not,
No, I don't. You didn't.
I don't think it's on the display.
Okay.
It was
I'm
in our
sorry about
packet.
Okay, so when I got here 6 years ago, I did a. Let me apologize. Let me grab.
Wait, you don't remember those numbers off the top of your head, Casey? Come on.
I did a.
Took me 20 minutes to read them to my husband.
I did take the time to do some research on, what we're up against, and it was pretty interesting, finding out the different costs and different programs that are out there, and there are a lot. There are a lot around here. You have, between Walnut Creek with the Ultimate Fieldhouse, which is a new facility, very popular, very well attended. There's the City of Concord, City of Pleasant Hill. There's Elevate, which is a basketball program. There's the City of Pittsburgh. It doesn't do a lot, but they do some things. So there's a lot out there. And we found that we actually are pretty right there in terms of pricing. When you look at youth basketball, which is very popular, you have youth basketball leagues, and then you have the club basketball aspect, which is very popular. Same with baseball. You have youth baseball, but you also have the club programs. And that's where you're seeing a lot of kids wanting to go towards too. They see their friends at school wearing maybe one of their club uniforms, and they go home and tell mom and dad that, hey, how can I play club basketball or club volleyball or club baseball? So we looked at youth basketball. First of all, we looked at every single program. Thank you. We looked at every single program that we offer, and the first thing I did was say, who else is offering this program? Because I wanted to make sure we were up against it. Youth basketball, City of Walnut Creek, City of Pleasant Hill, Ultimate Fieldhouse, and Elevate. Of course, CYO, which is local here, and then the Walnut Creek Youth Athletic Association. Our rate for our program, which is 8 weeks, we run basketball year-round here, so we go spring, summer, fall, winter. It's $190, which includes a full uniform, and it's a nice uniform. And it also includes their practice time, obviously their games, and also their the live streaming. So we found that there was only one program that was actually lower than us, which is the City of Pleasant Hill. The City of Pleasant Hill charges $175. We're at $190. And I thought that was pretty good. We're actually, for what we are offering, and some people have to return their uniforms back. So we have a lot of people who are happy with receiving their uniform. Youth basketball camps, only Ultimate Fieldhouse and Elevate are offering youth basketball camps. And we are 50% less than them. Ultimate Fieldhouse is $225, and I apologize, Elevate is $125. Our youth basketball clinics, which we run every Sunday from 9 to 10 a.m., and then we have another class from 10:30 to 11:30. Those are very popular because they're drop-in, they pay as you go, they're $25. Ultimate Fieldhouse does the same thing, and theirs are $60. The City of Walnut Creek has the same clinics, and the clinics are different than camps because clinics are more usually an hour. City of Walnut Creek does it for $88, and Elevate, he's doing it for $75. Our youth volleyball league, $140, and the only one that I found was the City of Walnut Creek that's offering it as well. And when I say youth volleyball, I mean a recreation program, not a club program. And ours is a recreation program. And they are $220. Youth volleyball camps, we're the only ones offering youth volleyball camps right now in the area. And ours are $75. And our youth volleyball camps are very similar to our basketball camps. They run 3 hours for usually 3 to 4 days. T-ball, it's us. And our T-ball program is a little bit different because we start younger. We go 3 to 5-year-olds, whereas Clayton Valley is more of like a 5, 6, 7-year-old, a little more advanced. So parents appreciate that, they can get their kids in some type of sport at age 3 or 4. So our youth football camps, like we talked about earlier, they're free. City of Pleasant Hill has a football camp for $75. Our adult volleyball league, we charge $300 per team. The City of Walnut Creek is $425. City of Pleasant Hill, $295. Adult softball, we charge per person, which is $50 per player. The City of Pleasant Hill, $70 per player. City of Concord, $60 per player. And then the Walnut Creek the Walnut Creek adult softball is $78 per player. And drop-in volleyball is pretty standard around here, $5 typically for drop-in volleyball and drop-in basketball. Club basketball, we do have a club basketball program called the Blaze, which we had a lot of parents here in the beginning asking about that because they were going over to Ultimate Fieldhouse, which charges between $1,500 and $2,000. And club basketball is tournament basketball versus the league basketball. So you take your teams and you go and play in tournaments for the weekend, and you go back to practice, and then you go back and play in these tournaments. And I just couldn't see charging $1,500, $2,000. We're at $750 for our program. And so we're very competitive there. And we have some really, really good players from this area. The junior general managers program that we talked about earlier, we're going to charge $100 per participant, and it will be an 8-week program as well. And so I'm really excited about that. We have the template right now. We're just working on getting the website populated with all the information. And I'll let you guys know about that soon. Birthday parties. So we do sport-themed birthday parties, which are very popular. And the way it works, it's $250. You get an hour of whatever sport you choose. Most popular is basketball, but we'll get some volleyball and soccer, and we'll do it in the gym. We'll do basketball game, basketball drills, basketball contest, and then they'll go into the party room and have their party portion. And it's $250, includes 2 large pizzas, a party host, and so forth. And right now, Ultimate Fieldhouse has it as well, and they're $250, and Elevate has it as well. They're $350. Facility rental, which is a biggie, we are at $65 per court per hour. City of Walnut Creek is $80 per court per hour. Ultimate is $75. Elevate is $125. Our financial seminars are free. We offer them completely free to whoever wants to attend. And then our live streaming is free as well. Okay. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on was the boundary map that we kind of did the research on. It was pretty easy to do because in the software that we use, we can just export, show me all the zip codes that people are coming from. We're very popular, and we don't do a lot of advertisement, but the kids talk, the parents talk. We get great referrals. I'm usually, if I'm in a grocery store or a restaurant, I'll see someone who has played in our program, and I'll usually get the young kid tugging on his mom's shirt or whatever and say, hey, there's Coach Casey. And so it's really humbling to see that and to see how we've affected a lot of lives around here. And so we've gotten people, what I'm seeing now is I'm seeing a lot of Walnut Creek come over here to Clayton and sign up for our programs. But I took the 4 most popular programs, youth basketball, and there's 78% of Clayton/Concord attendees, 6% Walnut Creek, 6% Pittsburgh, and then 3% Antioch. Antioch, we only do the league once a year, and it's really popular out there because that's where we started. So once in a while you'll get a family that wants to come over here in the spring or summer to play in the league because it's ran the same way. The Youth Volleyball League is primarily Clayton, 82%, Walnut Creek, 8%, and then Pittsburgh, 8% in terms of participation area. Adult softball, 77% of Clayton Concord, and then 7% Walnut Creek, 8% Pittsburgh. And lastly, the adult volleyball program was primarily Clayton Concord, 88%, and then we had 3% Pittsburgh. So that's kind of a breakdown of the where people are coming from. And with that, I'd like to take some questions. And
Have any questions for Casey? Jim?
Yeah. It sounds like your basketball program is the prominent or dominant, is that correct?
that's correct.
And it's year-round?
It's year-round.
Okay. How does the CYO program of basketball, how does it affect your operation?
Sure. So CYO runs November through the end of February.
Okay.
And CYO only uses the facility to practice. So they practice. We set aside time for CYO. So they approach us typically and say, okay, here are the hours, the days we want, and we put it on the calendar. So they typically rent Monday through Thursday, and from usually 5 to 8 p.m. and that's it. So they don't play their games; they just practice there.
And I gather that the arrangement that you have, most of your operations occur at the gymnasium, correct?
Correct.
Where do you go for the softball and the other more outdoor sports?
Sure. So softball is played on field 2
Okay.
at the park.
Yeah.
In the spring and in the fall.
How many youth are in the basketball program throughout the year? Just out of curiosity.
Sure. A typical league is 300 participants.
Really?
Yeah, and it's usually so there's 5 divisions. There's the little ones, and then the 2nd, 3rd graders, and the 4th, 5th, and then the middle schoolers, and then the high schooler. And there's typically 6 teams per division, and 10 players per team. So you're talking in that 300 range.
Okay. Thank you.
Julie, questions?
I actually don't have any questions, except how do you manage to do it all? Because I know what you do here at our facility. I've had a glimpse of what you do at the Antioch facility, and I've heard from some of my colleagues on the Hercules City Council that they are very impressed as well, that they are really thrilled. So I just want to say kudos. The quality of the coaching is, it's mostly parents, not all, but mostly. And I have to say the standards are really high. The sportsmanship, teaching kids how to play the game, how to play fair, how to play clean, and the sportsmanship is really awesome.
Thank you.
Because the kids may be crying when they lose that championship game because they put their heart and soul into it, but they're still made to feel really good about it, and they've learned how to lose graciously. So having been in a double overtime at Antioch not very long ago.
Yes. Oh, great.
Yes, that was the
very
game
exciting.
right before our grandson's game, and it was a heart-pounding thing, and to hear that gymnasium over at Antioch was about to erupt.
Yes.
Because people were stomping on the bleachers, and it was a lot of fun.
That was a great night.
And I have to say that my grandson's uncle, who lives down on the Central Coast, watches his basketball games on his computer.
Oh, awesome.
And he can be there rooting, and we're all texting back and forth and stuff. So, and you even got a picture of his team, not him, but his team on your slide.
Oh,
So
good.
anyway, really, really terrific.
Thank
So it's a great program, and it's a lot of fun to watch those little tiny guys out there playing t-ball. I mean, it's all they can do to hold the bat sometimes,
Right.
but watching them try to figure it out and feel good about themselves is what it's really all about. And yes, those early volleyball players are still there and still playing and having a good time, and I think they feel more than a little bit of ownership of that gym. They help to raise the money for
Good.
it too. So
Good.
really an awesome program. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, it's really important for me. We've set a precedence of what type of, we want to be a family-based program. And have we kicked out a few people from our program? Yes, because they didn't want to conform to what we were doing. Absolutely. I believe in things being on time. I believe in having things organized, down to when you get your notification that your practice is coming up, your games are coming up, and so forth. We run a pretty tight ship.
You do.
And we have expectations of our players, our coaches, and our parents. And I think that's the reason why it's been successful and it's been growing the way. And the parents like that. I started All Out Sports League because I'm a parent. I know what I want. I want something that's fairly priced. I want to be able to take my kid and feel that he or she is safe and that he or she's going to learn something. And that's kind of the premise of All Out Sports League.
Well, Casey, we're very impressed. I know when the effort was initially made to raise the monies for that gym, we had hoped, obviously, we'd have a gym for the school's usage and some after-school activity as well. And you have far exceeded our expectation on the types of programs that you're running very successfully and giving the children in the entire Clayton Valley area a real viable option for how they can spend their time after school. And I dropped by yesterday to visit with Casey on the first day of spring training. And as expected, the gym was in full use, had some basketball practice going on. And Casey and I were talking, but every now and then he'd turn and give a little direction, maybe a different drill or something else for them to do to keep them motivated so they continue to stay excited about playing the game. So you are obviously a great motivator.
Thank you.
And teaching wonderful skills and principles, and you're a local educator for our children after school, so we really appreciate that. So you had said that you do get input for maybe some additional activities or how you might structure some activities. That's quite an impressive list now. Do you anticipate offering anything more or pulling something off the list?
Sure. Well, the Junior GM program is going to be one of the new things that we roll out. And that's actually was born of, some parents asking, do we have any more educational type programs? And so that's kind of where we started working on that. So that's the latest. As far as sports go, there's only so much space in the gym, only so much time available. But right now, I don't see us offering any more sports programs unless we can squeeze it in. We recently had a wiffle ball program that we piloted that did pretty well, so we're going to see if we can get that going back again. But right now, the Junior GM program is something that we're really trying to get ready to roll out.
Well, good. I think this is helpful, too, looking at the pricing comparison with our communities.
Yep.
To show that you are certainly competitively priced. So you're offering a real value to the youth that are participating in your programs. Absolutely. So that's to be commended as well.
Thank you.
And that's why you're so successful.
Thank you.
And the coaching and the programs that you're running.
Thank you.
Julie?
I would just comment, too, in looking at this all written down, I knew you were doing a lot out there.
Mm-hmm.
But we all think of places like the city of Walnut Creek and the city of Concord as having these huge recreation programs. They're not doing half of what you're doing.
No, it's primarily,
it's a choice they make, I realize, but, this is pretty impressive. You got something for just about every other kid that's out there.
Trying. Yeah, most of the cities are, it's renting facilities, for weddings and that type of stuff, so. And the first thing that usually goes is the sports program, or maybe they're focusing on just one, like adult softball is really big in Concord. It's their biggest program. So they probably don't have time for youth basketball or whatever, so.
Good job.
Good. Thank you, Casey. Really enjoyed the presentation, all the information, and it really proves that this partnership has been very successful and looks like it'll continue for quite a while.
I hope so. You got to watch him. Right? Sure.
Well, no
Keep
more
up the good
questions.
work.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming this evening.
All right, thank you. Thanks.
All right. Next up, any council items anyone wants to raise for future meetings at this time? No. Next would be closed session. We are going to be going into closed session for Government Code Section 54957.6, conference with labor negotiator instructions to city designated labor negotiator, city manager employee organization, and the Clayton Police Officers Association. But before we go into closed session, I do have a speaker card for someone who would like to address the council on this issue, or this agenda item.
I am Ann Stanaway at 1553 Haviland Place in Clayton, otherwise known as the Wet Blanket. I saw this on the agenda and looked at it and thought, gosh, this is tailor-made for me to make my perennial remarks about the Clayton's continuing lackluster enforcement of ordinances, particularly relevant to this item. And it looks like you are in negotiations, labor negotiations with your police department. The way I look at it, the city of Clayton has a golden opportunity here. You should have the city's labor negotiator announce the city's dedication to provide a well-regulated workplace for its police force by enforcing Contra Costa County's fire lanes within Clayton's jurisdiction. Both the police force and the general public will benefit from fire lane protocol enforcement. With Clayton's byways cleared of illegally parked vehicles, response time to crime scenes and calls for assistance will significantly decrease. The Clayton Police Organization will receive accolades from the public that has lately seen lawless behavior escalate significantly. The council really should take a lead in this for the public safety sake and make the ordinance enforcement part of the current labor contract negotiations. Thank you for your attention.
All right. Thank you. Seeing no one else, then, we will adjourn to closed session. That is limited to council's participation.